Hey everybody, this is Joe Pace with Icewater Yoga, and today we're going to be covering the topic of how often you should be practicing yoga. So my general focus and my focus in terms of who I teach are athletes who aren't necessarily spending most of their time on the yoga mat. They're spending it doing other things with their body off the yoga mat, outside of the yoga studio, and that's a great thing. But yoga is there to keep them doing all of that stuff. So there needs to be some consistency, and there needs to be some sort of plan and idea of how long is enough. And what I've found over the years, and what seems to work for most people, is 1 hour per week. I'd prefer that yoga is happening every week for at least an hour, whether that's one class for 1 hour, 2 classes each for a half an hour, 3 20-minute classes, or however you break it up, whatever you really have time for. Because what that's going to do for you is give you longevity in the practice and also consistency, which is the key to any sort of yoga practice or any practice in general. If you're not consistent, you're not going to get any results. And also, if you don't spend enough time doing something, you're also not going to get enough results. It's the same exact thing as if you want to get stronger. If you want to get stronger, you need to lift a lot of weight. It's not just by doing your 1 rep max one time, all right? You do that one time, 4 weeks later, you do another 1 rep max, 4 weeks later, you do another 1 rep max. That's not going to give you results. It's not going to make you stronger because it's both not frequent enough and it's also not long enough. You're not doing enough reps. So the same thing with yoga. We want to do it for about an hour or so a week. The ideal spot, in my opinion, for athletes is 2 half-an-hour sessions per week because it gives you the ability to break up your sessions for different purposes. One session can be a longer, stretching-oriented, really restorative class. The other can be a strong, flowing practice where you get your heart rate up and you start to sweat and you start to challenge yourself with different arm balances maybe, or different poses that challenge your body in ways that you're not using in your sport. Okay, so having both ends of the spectrum with yoga is a really nice piece for athletes because it gives you that restorative element and it also gives you that ability to explore your body in a physically intense way you most likely aren't doing in your sport, which keeps your body dynamic, it keeps you supple, and it keeps you really adaptable to different conditions that happen in your training or in your sport. So that's my opinion for athletes. If you're going for just getting a much more in-depth, intense yoga practice as much as you want every day. I think there's really no limit to how much you can practice, just as long as you can be smart about what you're doing with your body and tune in and listen to your body. So if you start to not listen to what your body's saying, you're going to be sore, you're going to have parts of your body that are saying, hey, let's not go for this today. And if you push through those limits, you're most likely going to run into an injury. So always learn to listen to your body, develop a pretty intense and deep relationship with your body so that you can also start to choose how much time to spend on the yoga mat yourself. For athletes, 2 half-hour sessions per week is perfect. Ideally, those half-hour sessions are different from one another. One may be more stretching oriented, the other more an intense workout style of yoga. If you'd like to try that, maybe visit icewateryoga.com. We have a lot of options in that half-an-hour range that make perfect sense for athletes. It's why we built the whole thing. I appreciate your time. Thank you for checking this out, and I look forward to working with you again in the future.